Hello. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. I just making it live. Yeah. Now we are live on. Okay. Yeah. It's cool. Thank you for joining. So today we have an interesting session, and broadly we will be discussing how to solve one-time buyer problem. So one-time buyer problem is like the most common problem for e-commerce brands. Typically, what happens that for every purchase, so when someone buys, so typically 70% of audience, like for a particular e-commerce brands, like average repeat percent is around 30%. So with 30%, what happens is like 70% of people are not buying again. And if we once we look at any database, so there is a or any like a crm data or anything like that, so there is like a huge chunk of one time buyers, and that's a big problem for e-commerce brands. And there is a like lot of solution, and it will be like easy hanging fruits to solve this problem. And it will have a high impact on the bottom line of the brands, and also it will help you with the better repeat purchase rate, customer lifetime value, and other things. So in this webinar we will be discussing the framework. So one first is the framework. So more than framework is the mindset things that how you convert or how you look at your one time buyer and how you proceed go toward them. Second is like email communication, because email tend to be a good medium. It's not that email is the only medium. The idea is to have it across the journey. So we have it across the journey, and email we can implement that customer journey. So the same journey can be implemented on paid, same journey can be implemented on social or organic or on website experience. But if you are able to replicate this on your email platform, so that's a good starting point, and you can always pick and like implement it on SMS, implement it on this. So we will discuss that email side of things. And third is like product recommendation, because mostly brands struggle with the product and what kind of recommendations to send and at what time and those things. So that will also be covered in this webinar. So first, jumping before that, I wanted to touch upon our PCC framework. So PCC framework is to improve customer lifetime value. How we look at things is there is a and that has been my experience, like after working with 50 plus e-commerce brands, that email tend to have like the best account which tend to perform used to be one with where there was anything outside like the features were available outside email. Like it was not just about the email, it's more about the core message what the email constitutes. And to improve customer lifetime value, you need to think from a product perspective. So how to increase prices, bundles, cross sell, upsell, like a product recommendation part. So that's like product value maximization. Even it includes like product tests and all those things. Second is like customer value. Customer value, we look at the funnel, sort of like customer from the journey. So we plan the complete customer journey, and we create the features around that. And then there is a communication. So communication is looks like a layer. So you look at customer journey across the board, like from the multiple stages. And in this also we will discuss very fundamental layer of customer journey. And then after on customer journey, it comes down to like communication. So you align communication along that customer journey, or you can align like softwares around or like features. So what's your for first time buyer, like a subscription program tend to work. For repeat is loyalty or like a recurring membership. And then it's like lapsed, there is this thing. So in the advocacy stage, there is a referral program. So those kind of things needs to be built up, and there is a community angle, and there is a like cross sell upsell. So that's will be easier once you have a understanding of your customer journey. And once you have your understanding of like a better understanding of your customer journey, you can plan it much better, and also it will be more effective. And we always say to keep the strategy out of the communication value maximization framework, because what happens that if you once looks everything from email perspective or paid marketing perspective or SMS, then it's like narrows your thinking, and it's not scalable approach, and it's not effective in our experience as well. The idea is to keep the strategy out of your communication and like focus on the customer value and customer journey. Next is like in customer value maximization. So last week we discussed like non-buyers. So first stage was non-buyer visitor to buyer. Then the second part is like buyer to like repeat buyer. Then there is like a recurring buyer journey, and all those like a one time buyer or repeat buyer or recurring buyer will might end up in lapsed audiences or lapsed buyers. So we need to take care of that, and how we take care of that and lapsed, and how we work that out in our platform. So that's like the steps. In this like one time buyer, the focus is also value realization, the focus is user generated content, cross sell upsell sequences. Then there is a subscription also we have seen working well, because it's mainly for replenishment and for those purposes. So subscribe and save tend to work really well for these audiences. And content to consume, it's a value realization sequence which is effective for these customers. So that's the part. Now coming to the retention journey steps, like a broad standard, like a understanding of the customer journey. So there is a very good book from Joey Coleman, who has written like Never Lose a Customer, and it's a industry standard book in the customer retention space. And in that he broken up into like 8 stages. So I just want to touch upon those 8 stages, because that's helpful in the terms of understanding the mindset, understanding the whole process. So the first stage is assessment. So assessment is basically the stage of customer looking to meet, like there is a pain point and customer is looking to buy something for that. So retention, like as you might have heard before, that retention starts at with acquisition. Because if you make false promises, or if there is a like a false advertising, then retention will never work. Because idea is that the customer is buying a product to get a job done, or like a jobs to be done framework, or like it's like trying to solve a pain point or trying to get a benefit. And if the promise is not right, or the assessment, during assessment stage he has been like sold on false promises, then the customer will never stick around. So that's why the promise of the first purchase and the product both needs to match for retention to happen. But it's not the only condition, but that's the like a mandatory condition, that till the time you don't have your product and this thing mapped up, then the retention will not work. So the first promise, so assessment stage is the customer is in the market looking for the product to solve his problem, and there your product comes into the picture, or like through a ad or something, and then he makes a purchase. So that's the first stage. And that's where the most of the marketers make a mistake, that first purchase tend to be counted as like the final purchase. But in customers mind, it's more like a paid trial. So they heard something, like something very like a cream, or like some kind of a like revolutionary like health benefit, and they wanted to, or a like a revolutionizing, or like a innovative like a new scientific supplement, and they wanted to try out. And once they have that supplement, the idea is that's the promise, and they are looking. So once they make the first purchase, so it's a paid trial. So it's not a uh, commitment, or it's not a promise from a customer. It just customer is like trying out the product for the first time. So that's like your assessment stage and the activation. So once customer is taken up, then the idea is that it's in their mind, it's a trial. So they are just activating and they are just trying it out, that will it even work, will it, I need it, do like will this cream work, will this face wash work, or like does it like fulfill the promise. So that's the activation stage. Affirmation happens between someone has placed an order and received a product. So that's a like zone for buyer's remorse. So buyer's remorse is basically any remorse customer have after purchasing. And buyer's remorse is mostly for emotional purchases. So if you have like uh, like impulsive buying, and emotional purchases tend to have higher buyer's remorse. Or if you have like employed like a aggressive sales technique, then also buyer's remorse tends to creep in. But if it's like customer has made a like an informed decision, or like this thing, then buyer's remorse doesn't actually comes into the picture. But still most of the purchases are not like thought out purchases. Like most of the purchases, at least under $100, are mostly impulsive purchases, or like emotional purchases. So in that sense, you need to affirm. And how we affirm? So we can affirm like through sending through a value realization, sending the social proof, showcasing social proof, like after purchase, like just after the purchase, because that's the highest trust point. Like that when the customer placed an order, that's where they are most like in pain. so to say, like they want to solve their problem, and they are at the highest trust level also, because they have chosen you to solve their problem. So that's like the affirmation stage. Once the affirmation is there, then once the product has been delivered, so then the admission starts comes into the picture. And admission stage is mostly around where the idea is that customer is looking the product, or like trying it out, or like trying the first. That's where the value realization comes into the picture. So the idea is to have a good value realization, how to use the product, what's the benefit, how to like take care of it, how to get the max out of it. Because if customer doesn't use the first product, then they will never buy the second product. Like that's the, nobody buys to fill their shelves. So um, eventually you need the consumption of the first product for the second product to be like to bought. And more importantly, to get the promise also. Like if we have made some promise on the first purchase, then till the time customer doesn't buy the product, like uses the product, they will not see the results. And if they don't see the results, they will never buy for the second time. So the idea is the admission needs to be there. Once they have started using, then it's assimilation. So assimilation is mostly around they see the value, they feel that it's working. So that's like the first compliment. Like on a dress, once you get the first compliment, or on the hair solution, you feel the difference, or like on skin you feel a difference, or on a supplement you feel. So that's you feel higher energy, or more workout, or high energy situation. So that's the first like a proof, or like a glimpse or hope of a improvement. So it's not like it's been cured, but like it's working, sort of like the product has started working. So that's like assimilation, accumulation, and they are like accumulating, accumulate accumulation. So they are climatize, getting into your climate and your product environment. Then the assimilations comes to the picture, where they are using it comfortably, and they are like assimilated through the whole process. So they are now accumulate and assimilate, and they are like assimilated. So they have bought the promise, they have adapted to the new situations. Assimilation, and assimilation is mostly when they are like comfortable with the environment. So that's mostly from a e-commerce perspective. These are both comes into value realization. But there can be like in the value realization, if you have a like a long product, then there can be something done. So the first part is like admission will have more around like using the product, like how to use, how to this thing. The assimilation or assimilation will be more around like how to keep on using the product, or like how to keep on like getting the continued benefit sort of a way. So that's works, and it's not applicable for all the products, but like especially for cosmetics or supplements or those brands, it's highly applicable. Because once they are adopted, like they adopt the product, sort of like they become a part of this community. So they become a more like a community kind of a audience. So in that, they are not advocate, like they are not promoting it somewhere else, or like that's the last stage. Because and that's also one of the mistake, that people start pushing the referral program too early in the journey, and nobody will put their uh, their name on the product, or like their recommendation. They will not recommend your product till the time they will see the actual value, or they will start using. So advocacy tend to be the last stage. So they might be loyal, but they might not be advocating your product. And for that, for being loyal, they might be like seeing the value, the price point works, they are happy with the product, and they are like continuing to buy from you. But it's not that they are happy, or like they are willing to adopt, like advocate. And there is also angle of implicit versus explicit loyalty. So implicit loyalty is like loyalty by default, where you are loyal, but you are not you will not go out of your way to be loyal. That's there is a convenience factor involved, like your next door supermarket, or your like a product which is like working well, and you don't care about the brand that much, you don't care about the this. So still you are being a loyal customer, you have been buying their products, but you are not passionate, or you are not very informed customer, or very like advocate kind of a customer. And once you are like happy with the product, you are buying to the whole promise, then you become like a advocacy and advocate stage. So that's like this part. So that's like a complete 8-step journey. So starting from the first purchase, like before the first purchase, using like then adopting, and then like advocacy. So that's the like typical journey, and how this like in simple terms. So that was a broad framework which works across industry, but like how in like layman e-commerce terms, how it works, or how does it look like. So that's like the email communication part comes into picture. So first is like 0 to 7. So 0 to 7, earlier we used to do like a value realization, but now we have started doing like a immediate upsell. So immediate upsell tend to be like within 0 to 2 days or 3 days. Like so whatever you see on the success page, like a cross sell, post purchase, or like post purchase upsell offers. So we run the same sequence on the email or any other channel, that you have already bought this, and if you just add like some special accessories or something, so that will be like something cheap, or like a 30-40% discount, and it's more like an impulse, and the product has not been delivered to the customer. So that's everything happens on post purchase before the delivery, because the idea is that customer is in the high, the pain point is there, they have been motivated to place an order. So now if we can get another purchase, or we can help them better in their solution, so that's like a immediate upsell scenario, where the idea is that we are still trying to minimize the buyer's remorse, and we try to get the maximum value from the customer. And that's like the safest, but still the idea is to not push very hard, but idea is to give a option. If someone is paying, or if they want a complete solution, so they might go for that. But like 70 to 80% people will not go for that, like higher, because they have just placed an order. So first they want to see the value of the product, but 20% go, like 20 to 20% go for a upsell product, post purchase upsell. So that's why it's a like a numbers game. So in numbers, that works. But once you have that post purchase upsell, then its idea is to lie low, and focus on the adoption of the product, like focus on the solution, or like a problem solution of the product. So the idea is how to use, how to get the max value, any assembly, any like customer support, any like policies, written policy, or any. So those kind of, even videos helps, like community helps during that time, how to get and how to get started. Because the idea is that it's you never like it's you sell the usage through a community or through a content, and once the usage has been there and customer problem has been solved, they will eventually come back for next purchase. So that's like the idea of offer and value realization, like value realization or sequence that typically lasts, like for most of the brands, could last up to 30 days, but that's like max we have seen. But it's totally depends from product to product, brand to brand, and like audience to audience. But still in that sense, so that's like first 30 days. Once that is over, then typically it starts with replenishment if it's applicable. Like nobody will buy its second pair of t-shirt, but like some like a same pair of t-shirt, but the same cosmetics, same this thing, like a supplement, or like same dog food, grocery, like those products are repeatable, and where the replenishment comes into picture. And with replenishment, the subscription and subscribe and save also comes into picture. So if you have that, you can always pitch like subscribe and save and this. And once that is sorted, then you can always go to replenishment. So replenishment, after replenishment, you can go to like cross sell, upsell. So the idea is to first cross sell. So cross sell, we also have like two type of cross sells. It's like low ticket cross sell, high ticket cross sell. So the idea is to start with low ticket cross sell, because then it's more easier for the user, and then you can always go for like high ticket or like same price point cross sell. Then it's like upsell, if you like it's applicable. It's sometimes if someone has bought a like a TV or mobile or fridge, so they might not go for a second fridge or like this, but they can always go for cross sell. So it totally depends from product range to product range, but that's like a typical sequence, that replenishment, then cross sell, then upsell. Then once that is done, then we get to the win back and like sunset and all those things. But for the scope of this discussion, or like the one time buyer problem, the idea is to focus more on the value realization, because that's the missing piece. And second is like a cross sell, upsell, and replenishment sequence. So these two are the main. If you can get the like upsell immediate post purchase upsell, then it's a like always valuable. If you're not able to get that, then also it's fine, but still the idea is to get the first like the second purchase. And how this same journey can be implemented on like your SMS or on website. So on website we have like recommendation, we have in my account, we whatever we have in the comes of complete customer journey, so we can implement that using pop-ups, using like recommendation engine, using like offers on the like on the website. So customer, because if someone has just placed an order, they will typically come back to see what kind of products is like what's the status of their order and those things. So at that stage, there definitely scope to get like a immediate upsell or something like that. But still, after 1 month, also if they come back to the website, or you can use like Facebook or like paid ads to get the user back on the website if email and SMS is not doing the trick. But idea is that once they come back, we can create the same experience like post purchase value realization, and we can create the like cross sell upsell and like a replenishment sequence all on the on-site experience. And similarly, it can be replicated on SMS, it can be replicated on your push notifications. So that's the idea. And let's see like how it looks like in communications. So basically yeah, so in that, like we have discussed, I think for the immediate upsell cross sell, so it's with the immediate upsell cross sell, then post purchase, then cross sell, then win back. So but in the terms of like recommendation, so it's more like you might also like, and more like a cross sell. And then like a immediate upsell, so it's more like so this is like more granular in the terms of like what's the messaging, what should be the copy, and what should be the like angle. So it talks more about short term offer, like cross sell, like fast moving items. It also have you like get inspired, like how to guide outlink and those things. Once you have got into post purchase, then there is always like asking for review, so you can ask for review, ask for feedback and those things. Then it's like value and educational content, which will cover the most like the educational part. Then it goes into cross sell upsell, which is like a replenishment is applicable. Accessories like low ticket always starts with low ticket size fast moving accessories, and you can always like push the so high ticket ends. And there is always also like a service component and warranty component and those kind of things. So those also, like if you offer like any service, auxiliary service or anything like that, so that can also be bundled up. And second is like cross sell and then upsell. And new arrival also is a good approach for your repeat purchase. So for repeat, you can always also try with the new arrival. So new arrival is also doesn't work that well for non buyers, because non-buyers is not committed, so they are looking for the best product you have. But for repeat customer, like one-time buyers, so they have already seen the catalog, they have already gone through the website, they've already seen the product options and all those things. So new arrival tend to be very like effective for repeat purchases. And so that's basically I wanted to show. And it can go into like trending, and it's totally depends on what kind of tag stack you are using and what kind of recommendations engine you have. But that's the broadly the idea, that once we have this, then we can have that like approach. Lastly is the one time buyer, this thing like so if you have one time buyers, um, so what we looked at from the communication side of things, now we are looking from a campaign side of things, like what kind of campaigns and what kind of product features we can use to get that repeat purchase. So repeat purchase is like one time buyer, so the goal is like to get the second purchase. Now for this also, like apart from automation, it also comes down to your like what kind of offer you have, like a repeat purchase offer. So it's like what kind of offer. So like most of the brands will have an offer on the repeat, like a welcome flow, so they might not be open to give a offer on the repeat purchase. But if they are willing to have an offer, or like at least if you can match, and typically in that stage, this like for repeat, what we have seen working is a minimum purchase offers. So like for welcome, we have seen working like a flat discount or flat a price off, like 100 off, like 10 off, or like 10% off. But for repeat purchase, because they already have a trust, so idea is to push the like average order value up. So the idea is to have something which we can use as a like a bait for pushing the average order value up. So if your average order value is like $175, then the offer should be like $10 off 100 with a minimum purchase. So that becomes a repeat buy offer, and that tend to work really well for the getting the repeat purchase. Second is loyalty program. So loyalty program is sometimes like we don't recommend loyalty program at this stage, but if you have a loyalty program and you start giving the points at this stage, then the idea becomes to give out a like remind the user that they have these points, or they have these options available. Because sometimes what happens that you have points, customer also have the points, but the brand doesn't push that to use it. The push is not there to use the points, and that defeats the whole purpose of the points, because the points is uh, um, like a discount, like a validation. And if you don't promote it, or like don't remind user that you have points and there is a opportunity for you to use the points, then the whole points get lost. And third is like a dynamic recommendation, which we have discussed. So how you use that, these three different, which is like different for your regular from your regular offers. So the idea is that we create segmented campaign. So typically how we approach segmented campaigns is like every campaign which is not a it's a minor copy of a regular campaign with minor tweaks. So it's like you have a regular campaign, but you also have a tweak or like a minor variation of it, where you create a segmented campaign with loyalty program. So you can have some kind of a loyalty program strip on the banner, or you can always have like a repeat purchase offer on the banner. And these are like regular emails. So what I'm saying, like an email like Easter, Memorial Day, or like a summer sale, or like a spring break, or those kind of products when you have. So for non-buyers, we recommend sending the welcome offer. So we create a segment and we use a welcome offer. In this we use something like that, but we use a dynamic a repeat buyer offer. And then it becomes like available loyalty points or this. So you can give it in the header footer, you can in the header strip, as we discussed. It can be part of a hero copy. It can be also like dynamic products can be added in there. And it's also like helpful that if you can add some kind of a dynamic recommendation on your regular campaigns, like a regular new arrival, but also there is some kind of a dynamic strip, like these products are suited for you or recommended for you. That's applicable for most of the high SKU or marketplaces. Might not work for like a small not a small, but like a limited SKU brand, under 100. But if you have like more than 1,000 products on your website, then you can definitely have dynamic products for your repeat buyers. Next is your communication frequency is high. We typically recommend like high because they have just purchased, so they tend to be effective, but at least gives a like a resting period for value realization. But after value realization 30 days, we can go high or aggressively for them. And typically offer works is like new arrival works for these audiences, as we discussed, like bundles, surveys. So surveys tend to have a like it's good for a collecting zero party, which might help you with this. And let's discuss on the survey 2 points. So 2 points which we recommend user to ask on the surveys, mainly for new users, is first, why did you buy from us? So that's a very important question, because uh, they have options. Like all customers have options, and it's like they might have seen like multiple products in the same they might have seen multiple brands in the same niche. So they have option, but still they bought the product. So the idea is to get why they bought and what's the main selling point which resonated with them. So in this, what data we collect is that what kind of numbers, or like not numbers, but what's the main reason for purchase. So what's your USP, what makes you different. So why your customer is your customer, because they could have bought offline, they could have bought from your competition, they could have bought on Amazon. So why they haven't done these three things and bought on your website? So that's a very important question for post purchase. And second is that why you have kept repeat buying from us, if they have purchased on a second time. So the idea is that why, not why literally, but what made you purchase again, or this thing, because that help you understand the jobs to be done. Because product in your mind might have a different use case, but for a customer it might have a different use case. And you will definitely find a new business opportunity or new segment to target in these surveys, because the reason for customer to buy and repeat buying specifically tend to be very different from their like a regular user. And second is like why they didn't buy it from Amazon and why they did buy from you. So that's also will help you like invest more in the things which they care about. Maybe it's branding, maybe it's the price, maybe it's like your influencer or like social content, or like your creative resonated, or like the values you stand for resonated, like eco-friendly and those things. So that's basically the very important question to ask from the users. Next is like subscription. So subscription, we start pushing like subscription for one time buyers, because subscription tend to have the use case like not the membership we typically keep it for repeat buyers, and like referral is also for repeat buyers, and like loyalty is also for mostly for repeat buyers. But at this stage subscription tend to work really well, that to convert your first time into this. And how we structure, or how we have seen the subscription promoted is like that you give it like an offer for the first purchase, or you run discounts on this, like how the Prime does it. So Prime, Amazon Prime doesn't like, it will just charge you uh, like what how they play is like they use the shipping cost as a base, and they will try to supplement that cost with the Prime cost. So they will say that you can get the free shipping if you just agree to the Prime, and we will offset that free shipping cost as a like a shipping cost as a Prime membership cost, and you will be like become a Prime member. So because in the customer minds, he's already paying like a 40 50 not 40 50, like a $10 or something like that for shipping. So if he becomes like a Prime member, so he can offset that cost of the shipping, and that's how they get the subscription activated. And it's never about the subscription cost, because the subscription cost is never the goal. It's more about keeping the customer, keeping that hook. And if someone pays for a membership, then they tend to keep on buying again. Or like if someone pays for a subscription, so then they are like a more recurring user, and then you can go into like churn and all those things, but at least you got a new customer through this process. And then the process comes into like a back in stock. So back in stock is also for existing users, because they will have a this thing. And automations we have discussed. So automations like cross sell, upsell, replenishment, post purchase tips, and this, and same messaging can be go on the like SMS and on-site pop-up and cross-sell. So that's like broad framework. Like first is the mindset, that how to look at your post-purchase journey from the I think from the retention journey steps. So you look at the complete customer journey. Once that is sorted, you understand the journey. So journey might be different from each customer and each user. Then you plan your feature set for that each stage, and your communication strategy for each stage. Once you have both, then you roll it out on email, SMS, and everywhere else, and then you monitor and like keep working on the numbers and everything. So that's how the what's the approach. And if you want to increase like your customer lifetime value, so this is like the problem is solved. But like if you want us or if you want a help with your customer retention, so you can always reach out to us, and we increase the whole customer lifetime value for the brand. So if your brand product does not have like a repeat options, it's a one time purchase and last 5 years, we can also improve customer lifetime value for those kind of brands. And for repeat buying, like repeat heavy niches like cosmetic, grocery, or health and supplements, so health and fitness, so for those definitely we can like give more than like 30%. I think 30 is the base, but we have improved around 50% for these brands as well. And if it's like a high ticket item like electronics or music equipment or like furniture, so in that case the customer lifetime value, the impact becomes little bit like the duration becomes little bit longer. If you have multiple SKUs, then it becomes easy. Otherwise but still we are able to like commit to a 10% to 30% increase in customer lifetime value in 30 days, and claim your this. And you can go to RetainUP to book your call. And these are the brands we have worked with. And thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, you can always leave the comments, and I will reply and reach out to you. So thank you.